Unveiling Genesis, the epic beginning of the Bible. Ever wondered where it all began? The story of creation, the first humans, and the origins of our world as we know it. Look no further than the book of Genesis, the very first book of the Bible, a cornerstone of both Judaism and Christianity. The word Genesis itself means origin or beginning. It's perfectly fitting as this book lays the foundation for the entire biblical narrative. Think of it as the opening chapter of a grand, sweeping story that spans millennia. Genesis holds the first position in both the Hebrew Bible and the Christian Old Testament. It's not just a historical account, it's a theological masterpiece that explores fundamental questions about God, humanity, and our place in the universe. Key themes woven throughout Genesis include creation, the fall of humanity, and God's covenant with Abraham. These themes resonate even today, prompting reflection on our relationship with God and the world around us. The book is broadly divided into two main sections: primeval history, chapters 1 to 11, and patriarchal history, chapters 12 to 50. Each section offers a unique perspective on the early history of humanity and God's interaction with it. The primeval history section begins with the awe-inspiring creation account. In 6 days, God speaks the universe into existence, crafting light, land, sea, and all living creatures. On the 7th day, he rests, establishing the Sabbath. Then comes the creation of Adam and Eve, the first humans, formed by God and placed in the Garden of Eden. They are given dominion over creation and enjoy a perfect relationship with God. But this idyllic existence is shattered by the fall. Tempted by the serpent, Adam and Eve disobey God's command and eat from the forbidden tree. This act of disobedience introduces sin and suffering into the world. The introduction of sin has devastating consequences. It leads to separation from God, pain in childbirth, and the struggle for survival. The perfect harmony of Eden is lost, replaced by a world marred by imperfection. The story of Cain and Abel further highlights the spread of violence and wickedness. Driven by jealousy, Cain murders his brother Abel, marking the first act of fratricide and a descent into moral decay. As humanity's wickedness grows, God decides to cleanse the earth with a great flood. This cataclysmic event is meant to wipe out corruption and offer a fresh start for creation. However, God finds favor in Noah, a righteous man. He instructs Noah to build an ark, saving himself, his family, and pairs of every animal species from the impending destruction. After the flood subsides, God makes a covenant with Noah, promising never again to destroy the earth with a flood. This covenant is symbolized by the rainbow, a reminder of God's faithfulness and mercy. The Tower of Babel story explains the origin of different languages. In their pride, humanity attempts to build a tower reaching to heaven, defying God's authority. God responds by confusing their language, scattering the people across the earth. This event marks the end of a unified humanity and the beginning of diverse cultures and nations. The patriarchal history shifts focus to Abraham's lineage, the descendants chosen to be the founders of the Israelite nation. This section traces the development of God's chosen people. God calls Abraham to leave his homeland and journey to a new land, promising to make him the father of a great nation. This call requires immense faith and trust in God's promises. God promises to make Abraham the father of a great nation, to bless him and make his name great, and to bless all nations through him. This promise forms the basis of God's covenant with Abraham. The testing of Abraham's faith is one of the most profound and challenging stories in the Bible. God commands Abraham to sacrifice his son Isaac, a test of his unwavering devotion. Abraham's obedience, even in the face of unimaginable grief, demonstrates his unwavering faith in God. He is willing to surrender his most prized possession, trusting that God will provide. God reaffirms his covenant with Abraham, promising to multiply his descendants and give them the land of Canaan. This covenant is a cornerstone of God's relationship with his chosen people. The narrative follows the lives of Abraham's descendants, Isaac and Jacob. Their stories are filled with challenges, triumphs, and the ongoing unfolding of God's promises. Jacob is renamed Israel after wrestling with God, becoming the ancestor of the 12 tribes of Israel. This renaming signifies a new identity and a special relationship with God. The story of Joseph is a central narrative within the patriarchal history. It's a tale of betrayal, forgiveness, and God's providential hand in human affairs. Joseph is sold into slavery by his jealous brothers, but rises to power in Egypt through his wisdom and God-given ability to interpret dreams. His story is a testament to resilience and faith. A famine forces Joseph's brothers to travel to Egypt, where they encounter Joseph, now a powerful official. This reunion leads to reconciliation and the salvation of Jacob's family. Jacob's family settles in Egypt, setting the stage for the Exodus. This migration marks a significant turning point in the history of the Israelites, leading to their eventual enslavement and liberation. Genesis is not just a historical record. It's a profound theological narrative, exploring fundamental questions about God, humanity, and the world. It offers insights into the nature of God and our relationship with Him. The book establishes the existence of a single, all-powerful creator God. This God is not a distant, impersonal force, but an active participant in creation and human history. Genesis explores themes of sin, redemption, and covenant. It reveals the consequences of disobedience and the possibility of forgiveness and restoration through God's grace. The promise of future blessing through Abraham's descendants extends to all nations. This promise points to the universal scope of God's love and plan for humanity. Genesis holds enduring significance, shaping the religious and cultural identity of Judaism and Christianity. Its stories and themes continue to inspire and challenge us today. So, what can we take away from this epic beginning? Genesis teaches us about the power of creation, the consequences of sin, and the enduring hope of redemption. It reminds us of God's faithfulness and His unwavering love for humanity. Ready to delve deeper into the fascinating world of Genesis? Consider these actions. Read the book of Genesis. Experience the story firsthand and discover its rich layers of meaning. Join a Bible study group, discuss Genesis with others, and gain new perspectives. Explore commentaries and resources. Enhance your understanding of the text with scholarly insights. Don't just read the story, live the story. Let the lessons of Genesis inspire you to live a life of faith, obedience, and love. Start your journey today.